Hey everybody. Tonight's episode is a very special episode to me. I've interviewed some great people, local talent mostly, some good friends of mine and, influences of some local talent. Reggie comes to mind, Joyce Jones, Hawksy, the Mama Tried Band, Tanner, all this local talent. But tonight I'm very excited and I reached out to Every Mother's Nightmare's original drummer, Jim Phipps, and he was a huge influence for me. And um, and he was gracious enough to come on, and I'm very excited about getting to interview my first big rock star coming up right after this. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hanging with Drummer Boy Jones. And tonight I have the honor and the privilege of talking to one of my heroes, one of my influences, Mr. Jimmy Phipps, the original drummer of Every Mother's Nightmare, co-founder, I believe. Um, I've always taunted Every Mother's Nightmare as our local boys that made it, and I reached out to Jim, and through Instagram, I found him there, and I just reached out to see if he'd mind coming on and, talking about his influences, what got him playing, how they got Every Mother's Nightmare started. I know he's been in several projects since then, and want to talk to him about his career. And
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me, buddy.
man, it's an honor, Jim. It is a complete honor, and
I never really get to do these things, so I'm honored too, man.
awesome. Well, you've got a great story. I mean, there's not very many kids. I call us kids still, but I know we're in our 50s, but but there's not very many that says, "Hey, man, I was on MTV. I was on, Headbangers Ball. I was on tour. I had two records. It's a great story, and anybody from my age that grew up during that time and loved hard rock and heavy metal, you guys was the band, and but let's start a little bit before that, if you don't care, Jim, and tell me about how did you get started playing, or what got you into music?
uh, my dad liked country music. I was from a broken home, so I'd go on the weekends to see my dad. Loved good country music, and my mom loved classic rock, which is classic rock now, but it was rock then when I was growing up.
Right.
So I just really got into all her albums and all that stuff, and um, I guess she could see me pretty much beating on everything, like the refrigerator and the garbage cans that would actually sound like drums.
Right.
And I was racing BMX motocross pretty seriously, touring a little bit. And she asked me if I wanted a set of racing leathers or drum set, and I was like, drum set.
Oh, cool. Didn't know that you was racing.
Yeah. So that got me into it. I got my first drum set at probably about 12 Christmas, and I had a little blue sparkle kit, pearl, probably a general kit,
Yeah.
a one mounted tom, kick drum, floor tom, and one cymbal and a hi hat.
Wow.
That did it.
And that was it.
That's it.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's fantastic. So
So yeah, that kept me in the house every day after school. Just wanted to practice away, play the records, played it, just everything.
yeah, whole different ball game back then, because you had to, listen and fast forward, rewind a cassette, or go back. That's what I always used to have to do, and you didn't have YouTube and things like that to teach you stuff.
I know, you're right. And you had to rewind it right on the very part that you want, or just go way back.
Right. Oh man, that's awesome. Well, so with that being said, I guess you was self-taught.
I was self-taught. I did self-teach myself. I listened to a lot of records. My stepsister on my dad's side introduced me to a lot of records. One being Grand Funk, The Babies, uh, Van Halen. I found Kiss on my own. Just just good rock and roll like that. And she
Yeah.
would I'd take my drums over there and she'd say, go play to this song. Go play to this song. And I'd play to it and she'd go, you're going a little too fast. You're going a little bit too slow. And I was like, so I got into doing that too. So that was fun.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Um, I guess who would be maybe your drumming influences, or even maybe not even drummers, but just your influences?
Okay, I'm gonna do the drummer cliche thing because when the levee breaks on Zeppelin 4, it's just bananas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would say John Bonham would be my favorite, and I listen to a lot of Stuart Copeland too. I just think he's an incredible drummer.
Amazing, amazing. Yes.
There's so many drummers out there that that we grew up to, man, that were just phenomenal drummers, just good, solid rock and roll drummers.
Yeah.
Phil Rudd,
Yeah.
all those guys, man. You know, good rock drummers.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great time. I grew up, I guess, a little bit later. So I guess my introduction was more Tommy Lee, Tommy Aldridge,
Yeah.
that
No,
kind of thing. And then, like you said, then you hear Zeppelin, and you're like, "What was that? What did
yeah.
I just hear?" And it's yeah,
Hey, listen, Tommy Lee was one of my influences too, I do I have a similar style to him.
you do.
I do, and I've watched him play all the years. I've been to a lot of his shows, and I like the way he hits the hell out of his drums.
That,
And
yeah,
he's a great drummer. He plays to the songs and all that stuff. Yeah, he's great.
that's one thing when I first seen you that got me hooked was the visual aspect.
Yeah,
You're a hell of a solid drummer, and we'll get into some of the things that I love about your playing. But
awesome.
it was your arms, like I said, you hit the damn things, and it was a show. It was, you're watching a drummer play drums, and yeah, but well, I will touch on that right quick. So I definitely want to go into that, how you guys started and all that stuff. But listening and watching, and even going back this week, I've pulled out, I've even got my original
Nice.
vinyl, and of course, I can never, I don't think this was ever on vinyl, but the second record,
Was
and but I was just really paying attention, because I knew I was going to talk to you, and things that you would do that just impressed the hell out of me, especially that time that a lot of people didn't do, is like your cymbal crashes or your
Yep.
cymbal catches, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then I'd go back and I found some old, club shows of you guys on YouTube, and just how that kind of stuff, your double bass drums, that it didn't override a song, but it
Yeah.
was there just perfect. Man, I had a ball this week just going back and listening to that first record.
I love that so much, man. That's great. I love listening to music. Thank you for listening to it. If you going back real quick, Robert Sweet was a big influence of me. So, and
Yes.
on that record, on "Wake Up Screaming," there's a little bit of him that I'm taking on that.
That's cool, because there were some, like, I don't know, sometimes, and I'm not a technical drummer, so I don't know, but
Yeah,
sometimes you have a good cymbal choke, and then sometimes you got that, what you was just saying, that Robert Sweet thing, where you hit it, you don't choke it instantly, but it gives it a little, you know.
behind that behind choke that box.
Yes, yes, man, I can listen to. That's what got that. You hooked me, then I was just like, this dude is the shit. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm not trying to kiss your ass, even though I will.
No, I love it, man. I'm humbled, and I appreciate anybody that's listened to our stuff, and especially you growing up to it, man. That's
it's classic. And if there's any drummers out there, and I know that I've got a few that lives in my area that's just sort of starting or been playing for a year or two, if you like hard rock or heavy metal and a drum, if you're wanting to learn drums, listen to the first Ever Mother's Nightmare record, and that's how it's done. It's so tastefully placed. It's not all balls to the wall. It's not all you done a remarkable job, man. And
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
no
That
worries.
that's why we play music, man. It's to let other people enjoy it and listen to it and appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, I mean, I have other influences that wasn't just drummers. You know, I'm a huge Danny Lane fan of Warrant just for his writing and his all of that stuff. He got me so much more into listening to lyrics and songwriting, instead of just drums. And like I said, I grew up on Bob Seger. I mean,
Me too. Very talented.
yeah. So, yeah, influences come all across the board. Yeah, awesome. Well, man, thank you for sharing that. And so let's dive into. So before we started, you actually told me that all of you guys was originally from the Nashville area.
Except for Rick, he came from Knoxville.
Sorry, that's right.
And he did move to Nashville for some time.
So how did you guys get together?
Okay. This is wild. I guess about 1987. I played in a band called Justin Heat
Okay.
with Jeff Allen, Rick Rule, and Don Murray. And we were just playing the local bars, local scene, Sal's and the End and places like that. And
Right.
we weren't really making any headway. We cut a couple of demos and I think we cut like a 5-song EP.
Okay.
And we kind of got tired of doing that. So uh, Rick went on to find Mark McMurtry and Steve Malone. He moved out to Hendersonville that way for some reason. I can't remember why, but he moved out that way and
Okay.
met 2 kids. And Steve and them were just a little bit younger than us. I mean, mind you, we were in our early 20s.
Right.
20.
Yeah.
And so Rick got a rehearsal room and started playing with some other drummers, playing with some other people. I kind of bared off. I was going to buy a one-way ticket to LA and just cartage my drums out there and just see what the hell I could do.
Right.
And then I think one of their drummers quit and they called me to come out and jam, and I did. And I stayed at home, stuck to it.
Wow.
And so we started playing the rock block, the scene, and all that stuff. And fortunately, we had a guy by the name of Doc Fields.
Okay.
And he used to personally manage Greg Allman.
Some
And the Dixie Dregs. And at one part of his career, I think he managed Yes.
Okay.
He came up to us one night while we were playing and he said, I don't have me one of these rock and roll glam type kind of rock and roll bands. And he goes, I'd love to manage y'all if y'all just give me a chance. No money involved or anything like that. Let's just see what we can do. And we started making some demos. We all pitched in to make demos. We'd go to Knoxville and go to a place called Danny Brown Studios. And we just started writing songs. We wrote that whole album in a barn in Jolton, Tennessee.
Wow. Yeah, I know where Jolton's at. Yeah.
We'd all go up there. Ronnie Cantrell was the bass player then, the original bass player. So that was his place, and we'd stay up there for weeks. I mean, I'd stay up there for 2 weeks before I'd go back home to Nashville, and we'd write and just play every day and get our sound down, and that's what we did.
Yeah. So it was straight off the get go. You guys was going to be an original act. You guys wasn't playing covers and things like that.
We wanted to get a record deal. We wanted to get out of Nashville. We wanted to, you know, go a different level.
Yeah, yeah. That's wow. Yeah, that's because most of your bands they start off playing 4 hours of covers in some old bar, and but so you guys just straight from the get go said let's do this and do it right, right?
We didn't make no money, but we just but we played at Sal's a lot. We played at Exit M. Remember the Cannery Ballroom?
Yes, yes,
Played that, and we'd do a 45-minute set of some of our stuff and maybe a cover or two. But
yeah,
basically, we were writing for a record that we wanted to write for, and um, that's what we did.
yeah. And it was perfect timing. So if this was in, like I said, 87, 88, everything was turning into a more of a poppier hair band, Poison, Warrant, Winger, which don't get me wrong, love that stuff. I actually got a Poison shirt on, but
Blood Poison.
but y'all was matter of fact, the first time I heard about you, somebody was like, "It's a hair band," and I was like, "Well, in Nashville, I'm in. Let's go." And I heard you guys, and I was like, "Damn, they're heavy."
Oh, dude, we had it all poofed up too.
But yeah, I mean, I guess where I was going with that was you was heavier than your typical hair band. And that, it very, I mean, I don't know what damn good hard rock band, but it was a little more in the lines of, it was more Guns N' Roses than it was Poison.
Yeah, it had a little dirty to it.
Dirty to it. That's right. That's what I love. Your faster pussycats and that kind of stuff. I loved it. And so, all right. So okay. So you got a manager, and you guys are playing around Nashville, and the buzz was huge.
Yeah, we started making a following, but we felt like Nashville didn't really accept us too well because we weren't really opening up for more other popular bands. We were playing on Sunday nights and Wednesday nights and stuff like that. When there's, I went out every night on the rock scene.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we just didn't feel like that they liked us that much. So Doc came to us. He made a couple phone calls to a guy named shit, I forgot his damn name. Eli Ball.
Okay.
And Eli Ball was a producer for Rock City Angels and Jason and the Scorchers.
Okay.
So we had a little bit of pull with that. And Doc says, I've got this band from Nashville. Uh, they're looking to showcase and they want a deal. They're looking to showcase. He gives Eli like a demo of what we were doing. And we get an opportunity to go to this. It's called the Crossroads Festival, which it's a producer band label showcase event. It's all weekend long.
Okay.
And they got us in on a Saturday night at like 7:30. I mean, quotes us in.
Yeah.
And you got 30 minutes to rip it and get it.
Now, was this in Nashville or Memphis?
This was in Memphis.
It went to okay.
My bad.
No worries.
Doc said, y'all drive on to Memphis, meet with Eli. He's going to put you on that stage, and y'all better do something. So we made a buzz that night. And we started to have some interest from Eli Ball, and Doc was getting some interest. And pretty soon, before you know it, Nashville and Memphis was our territory. We'd go back to Nashville, play, and then we'd go back to Memphis, and we'd play all those rock bars, in which Memphis was fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
And they had some of the greatest rock and roll bars, man, that were like up to date, huge sound systems, nice stages, stuff like that. And so we would do that for a while. And then I guess you would say right after that, after probably playing there 6 months back and forth, Doc started making A&R calls with labels, major labels, and they'd come see us for about another 4 months, 3 months or something like that. And we'd play the Stage Stop.
Yeah.
God, all those clubs, man. Rascals, Headliners, Night Moves. I mean, they were really some cool clubs.
Yeah.
Uh, before you notice, we were playing in front of suits every weekend,
Wow.
and we had a couple takers. We had a bidding war with Jason Flom from Atlantic and Clive Davis from Arista.
That's
Crazy,
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
How does some kids from Nashville, Hendersonville get interest from fucking Clive Davis?
yeah, man, it was cool, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, I get chills talking about it because a lot of my dreams have come true, and I'm
Yeah.
fortunate for that. Um, so I guess we were kind of sat around for about another couple of weeks and figure out what we were going to do. So we held a private showcase for ourselves because we couldn't get back in the following year to that Crossroads festival like we did the first year.
Okay.
We couldn't get a spot, so we went to a loft, a place where we recorded the record and had production, PA, and all that stuff, and invited Richard Sanders and um, uh, Clive Davis. He flew in. We did the show, and he took us back in the studio and he said, "I want to sign you guys. I want to make you guys rock stars."
Wow.
And I even Rick threw a pair of boots at him, and I threw a drum set out in the crowd, and I think I hit him in the gut. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Wow.
He came back, and it was just it was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, everything that you had worked for, and at that time, everybody that was the goal. You get a record label. I mean, get a record deal.
Yeah,
And to have one of the biggest Clive Davis. I mean, I made a little notes here. He discovered Janis Joplin, Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, Aerosmith,
yep,
Pink Floyd, Whitney Houston. Unbelievable.
unbelievable, man.
That's that's fantastic. That's so incredible. So off to the studio you guys went?
Yeah. So after the showcase, I think we took about a couple of weeks off, and then we got to work. Um, Part of the record deal is that we got to do pre-production, and they got us a band house in Memphis that we could live in, and they got us rehearsal space, and we immediately moved to Memphis. I mean, we brought our beds and everything, man. Moved into this cool house, and well, it was a band house. It's pretty dirty, but
Yeah, right.
uh, and we started going to work. We did pre-production, and with Eli, and writing songs, configuring them out, and after about 2 weeks of pre-production, we punched red and made 12 songs or 10 songs, I think. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Pretty quickly.
pretty quickly. I mean, it was out in '90, and we got signed in the end of '88.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. So I can always remember 90. That was the year I graduated high school.
Yeah.
And that came out. And I've got to ask you something, though, about your recording. And I've done a little recording. We put together a record and things like that several years ago. But the dreaded click track, did you back in 1988 when you are 89 when you guys was recording? Was that such a thing? Did you have to play to a click track?
Uh, I would say half of the debut record is on click.
Okay.
The other half's like the fast stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't do click. That's just all feel.
Oh, man, it's amazing. It
Yeah,
just messed with me. It just messed with me. And I've learned, even learning songs and stuff now, I get over on my kit and I'll put in, especially like an old 80s song or 70s song
yeah.
and put it in the machine and have a click and it won't click. I mean, it won't line up. It's just because to me, there's no feel to it. It's just, even the one we recorded, it was, they used, hey, this four bars was great. I'm going to use it here, here, and here.
Yeah.
And it don't, because I don't have the talent, but it don't take the talent like it did when you guys played, playing a song by feel and it's damn near in time perfect, but
I believe Love is on a click. Bad on Love is on a click. Um, Uh, what's that? What else? Already got. No, that's on Wake Up Screaming.
Yeah.
That's on a click. There's more click on Wake Up Screaming too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean it's not easy to do. It's an art, but I mean it's okay. I don't like it.
Yeah. I didn't like it, and because I just couldn't. Yeah. But yeah, going through that, I mean, hard to hold, easy come or easy come, easy go. That the drums. I don't know how you guys got your sound on this first record, but the sound of these drums are amazing. I mean, it's still to this day, you put it on, the bass thumps, but it's not overpowering. It's mixed. Your snare, that's another. Your snare on that record is the closest thing to Alex Van Halen's sound of his snare. It's not over snary. It's not dull. It's perfect. I mean, I don't what was you playing with that recording?
To tell you, man, it's cool. So there's a lot of compression on that snare from what I remember. But that is a 19, I think it's a 19, I think it was a 1979 Ludwig marching snare.
Sweet.
So I tuned down the bottom head with all the wires and everything,
Right.
and I cranked up the top head, and I love the way it sounds. And I got that from Tommy Lee.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it sounds that I really, like I said, I knew he was doing this and I really paid attention and I was like, man, that damn snare just sounds amazing.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, for even 30 years ago, man, I mean, golly, I still listen to it today. It pops.
It does. It does. The guitars are I mean, everything's just mixed fantastic. It's just, and this is not a knock because I love the second record. And I think the second record is just as good as the first, but I think the production on the first one was a little bit better than the second one just because of the drum sound.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a fuller, not knocking the second one by no means, but
sonically, I agree with you on that. But I've always thought that the songs on the second record were better.
I agree.
I think that we kind of grew up as a band playing,
Yep.
and our writing matured.
Yeah.
And Rick did a lot of good writing on that record.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought, so did you guys tour on the first record? I mean, I know you did, but was you on any tours or things like that?
Yes, we went out with a few people. We opened up for Cheap Trick, The Cult, ZZ Top, Circus of Power, South Gang. Yeah, that's Butch Walker's.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, man, so many bands. I mean, we opened up for a lot of people, and remember Baton Rouge?
I do.
Yeah, we played with them a lot.
Okay.
And then it got to the point where they got to open up for us, so that was pretty cool.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, because I guess I never seen you. This is probably going to lead into the second record, and we'll get there in a second. But what was on your first record? What set of drums was you doing live? I've looked back like at your videos, and you had the white heads, so I couldn't really tell what kind of sets you had, and I couldn't remember.
Okay, so on the first record, I had a set of Yamaha RTCs, the Rock Tour Customs.
Okay.
They weren't studio drums per se; they were live drums. But put brand new heads on them, they sound killer.
Yeah.
I used that with the Ludwig snare. Back then, I think I had old pasty cymbals.
Yeah.
And but the RTC custom, it was a white kit that I took out on the video. You remember that?
I do. I do. And that was one of the things I was going to ask you because you done told me because I slowed it down at one part. I was like, that has to be a marching snare, a snare. Because I was like, that thing looks like it's 12 inches, 14 inches thick. I was like, that. But
it was a 14 by 12, actually.
it was 14 by 12.
Yeah.
Wow. And you was one of the first people that I had seen. And like I said, because I didn't see a lot of things because I grew up at that time. But you was one of the first people that I ever seen had double kicks in one mount.
Yep.
And I thought that was just crazy, extraordinary. I mean, I'd never seen that before.
One less drum to carry.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
I liked it because I liked a good basic Bonham kit, one up top, two floors,
Yeah.
and a kick drum. So I just said, I mean, I used to play two up top and two on the floor, but I just liked the way that felt, and it was easy for me, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess you can get things closer to you.
Yes,
Hi-hat's a little closer, you ride's a little closer, and
absolutely, man. You can get all that stuff. You can get little bells closer and all that stuff.
yeah.
Now, remember on Dawkins' first record, Mick Brown did that.
Now that you mentioned that, yes, you're exactly right, but I had forgot about that.
He did that, and I was like, and I love Wild Mick Brown.
Yeah.
First time I saw Dawkins, man, those kick drums were about to put me in cardiac arrest. They were so loud. I mean, it was just hitting my chest.
Yeah.
But I got that from him too. But I liked it better that way. It was.
Yeah. 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 I had forgot all about Wild Mick. Yeah. See, I was giving you credit, and you just to give it back to Wild Mick.
I'll take the credit, Chris.
Oh man. Oh man. So all right. So then we're gonna I don't want to jump plumb to 93 because you can tell me, but I remember the first time not seeing you guys in the clubs, and there was 2 or 3 shows. I know I seen you at Starwood at the amphitheater, and I'm almost positive, and you might tell me I might be wrong. I think you guys also done a show at MTSU at the arena at MTSU for somebody on one of those 103 things.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Don't remember that one?
Being in Murfreesboro, I do remember playing Main Street a few times.
Yes, that's right. Yes, over in yeah. What was it, 527 or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
do
yeah.
do you remember us playing the Toys for Tots at 328?
That's the other one I was. That's right. Yep.
And that was sold out. And it was
packed.
Yeah, it was
Was
great.
that with
Clutch. Clutch.
Clutch. Yep, that's right. That's right. And the one at Starwood was what, Dream Theater? Was that right?
Dream Theater, and then we did a Cash Bash with Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick. Yep. Man, yeah, that was because I was like, damn, I'm seeing these guys on the big stage now, And I know everybody wants the big stage and they want to tour and all of that, but now going back to it these days, I'd much rather see a band in the club. It's just, it's real, it's raw, it's more personal.
We were still green then, so I mean, being too far away from each other was kind of freaky.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't have Rick's ass right up in your face all night. He was on out, right?
That's great.
Oh man. Yeah. So then you go into we're going to move on to 93, Wake Up Screaming.
Yeah.
And Jim, I ain't got no lies to tell you. I thought this one would blow y'all up. I really, really thought that this record, like you said earlier, your songwriting, y'all took the next level. It was more, he was more mature. There's all different kinds of songs on this record. There's heavy, there's ballads, it's just a great, great record. And I thought this one would blow you up. But if you want to tell, what about this production? How did that go?
Okay, so first of all, I'll give you the backstory on this. I think what you're talking about is because we couldn't get a producer for about a year. So it put us about a year behind.
Okay.
So I was hoping that would blow us up too, but you already had Skids, blowing up, and all these other bands that are blowing up while we were sitting on the couch waiting for a producer.
Oh.
So we finally found Jim Gaines, who did a lot of blues down in Memphis, and Greg Archella, and went back to Memphis, recorded this record. We got the clear. We didn't move back to Memphis. We stayed at Rivermark Hotels and Suites, and we had a penthouse. It was fucking great.
Wow.
And we were just minutes down from the studio, and we did pre-production, wrote these songs. Jim Gaines kind of tweaked them up a little bit, but basically he just let us go for it and just punched red.
Wow.
And we all did a lot of writing on that. The first single, I think, was House of Pain.
Yeah.
And that was Rick's baby. Rick wrote all of that, lyrics, music, all
Okay.
except for a couple of, changings and stuff like that.
Right.
That was his song. He wrote that. That took a while to write. We all collaborated on the rest of the record, and I thought it was great. I was loving the songs as we were recording them.
Yeah.
And I was totally into it. And some Jim Gaines was a little not so lenient, so he put me on a click on some of it too.
On that. Yeah, I mean, dang, man. And I am not here because I sit behind a computer and you've lived it. I mean, but the only thing that I thought was House of Pain was such a great song, but it being almost 7 minute long song,
Yeah.
Maybe if Closet Down the Hall might have been the first thing. Who knows? You can second guess yourself to death.
Oh man, I struggle with the same thing. It's like, House of Pain is a longer song, and radio doesn't touch songs that long.
Right.
And now Closet Down the Hall is one of my favorites.
Me too.
I mean, it's heavy. I helped write that, helped write a lot of it, and the changes and all that stuff, and The Good Die Young.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Steve is awesome on that song.
Oh man. Yeah, it was great. I mean, going back to Closet Down the Hall, when you kick that in, and it sounds like I'm just trying to remember just listening, but when it kicks in, it sounds like you're hitting bass, floor tom, and crash all at the same time. Is that what it is?
That's it. I'm
It's
doing
just
kick drum, lower floor.
it just explodes right in your face.
I love it.
It's fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Not too long ago, I was going through some of these demo tapes and stuff, and I found the second record. I found it, and the CD was in it, and I was like, oh, hell. All right. So I went into our room and got on the big speakers and listened to it, and I was like, oh my God, you're going to believe this. This record's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I haven't heard it in probably 10, 12 years.
Yeah. It is. It's we do, I started this little podcast, I don't know, 6 months ago, and it's just I like getting with my buds and us talking about the music we grew up with and loved, and and this Every Mother's Nightmare is mentioned a lot. I wave that flag a lot just because you was the hometown boys, and
appreciate you.
Matter of fact, this is a funny story. This is nothing about me. And a matter of fact, I think you're just asking if we had met. Yes, I know when we met. We met on this tour. Y'all was playing somewhere, and I had told you our band at that time, and we named our band Crying Shame.
Oh, wow.
That was the name of our band at that time was Crying Shame, and that's when I met you because I told you, I was like, man, the double bass on that song's killer, and I was like, we're going to name our band Crying Shame.
I'm remembering this. That is awesome.
Yeah, you asked me if we had met, and I knew we had, but that just sparked that story. Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to share a fun fact with you that a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
That in the House of Pain video, that's famous actor Michael Shannon.
The little kid?
Yeah, the teenager boy.
Oh yeah, the teen.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, it's got a Yeah,
I made him wear a Boneyard t-shirt.
Boneyard T-shirt. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah.
That is super cool. So, tell me about the MTV recording, making video experience.
Oh man, it was fun. It's quick. You got a lot of professionals out there that they set up a lot of production. They set up tracks. They set up cameras. There's probably at least 4 to 5 cameras at different angles, and you're going over the songs. You're doing drums first, and then you're doing guitars, and then Rick gets his thing, and the whole band gets a moment together. So it's actually making a small movie.
Yeah, big production, all that good kind of stuff.
You can do a video. Back then, you could do a video in probably 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's that's one of the other ones I love on this record because it was so different. And I'm just going to bring that one up if you don't care. Slip and Fall.
Slip and Fall. That song was co-written with Rick and the guitar player for Autograph.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Clive Davis loved that song, and he said, "I want it on the record. I
Yeah.
want it on the record." And we were like, it's a little too poppy, country, little poppy, and all that stuff. And he goes, "I don't care. The album's not coming out unless you put it on the record." So we were like, "Okay, it's
Yeah.
on my record."
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you guys are like, well, it don't really it, but I loved it. I thought it was great. It was, like you said, it's a little bit poppy. It had that swing to it. I just really liked it. I loved it.
The drums are really good on it, man. The tom sound. You know where we cut that song?
Huh.
Downtown. Where was that studio called?
Uh,
Woodland? Was it Woodland?
the wood, yeah, Woodland.
Downtown. Yeah, we recorded that one song there at Woodland. Everything.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Now at this time you was well, at least in the video, I believe it was Pearls. Did you go to Pearls on this one?
I didn't get a deal with Pearl till after '93. It was like on our. It was on the Wake Up. I mean, on the Wake Up Screaming tour.
Okay.
And I knew some people that worked at Pearl, and they gave me a beautiful kit, and they were really supportive of everything. It was nice. That was the first drum deal I ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's so cool. And yeah, I mean, and then I guess, I'm starting to look through a few things and we're hitting on all of them, but yeah, I think you guys kicked the doors down for a lot of those bands, Valentine Saloon, Tora,
Yeah.
Roxy Blue, all these. Like you said, I'd always heard Memphis was a killer rock scene, and I never went down there. I've been down there a time or two and seen a show, but as far as the rock life at that time, no. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of bands started coming out.
Yeah.
A few guys, and I think a lot is owed to you guys for that. And
Well, that's where we ran into Tora, and they became really good friends with us.
okay,
And it was great how Memphis embraced us, and we were totally kicking ass there.
yeah,
But they embraced us, and Roxy Blue did, and Tora, and a lot of the bands down there. Valentine Saloon was a great band.
yeah.
They still play today, but I mean, they toured. We toured with them. We toured with them with Wasp.
Wow. Wow, that would have been awesome. Yeah, I used to go see Saloon a lot too. That was another one of my faves. I imagine you and Billy, I both just soaked up both you guys as playing and at that time it was fantastic.
I
And
love Bill, man, he's a great, and I'm so proud of him right now because he's doing so good with his drums and all that stuff with Baker drums.
right, yeah. I need to reach out to him, see if I can get him.
Oh God, he'll talk to you, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. So when did I mean, like everything in the 90s, the grunge and this and all of this took over, and you know things wasn't the same anymore. And so when did you guys say, or did you guys try to go in to do a third record or?
Yes, we had. We were going to exercise another option. An option means 2 more records.
Okay.
So we had a new manager at the time. We fired Doc, and we had a new manager, Vinny Rich, out of New York City, and he was dealing directly with the label. And they were paying for demos in Nashville.
Okay.
And so we were sending them 3 to 5 song demos. They'd pass on them. We'd get to go in the studio again, and they'd like 3 and pass on 2, and then they started figuring out that the numbers for Wake Up Screaming, they didn't go over 300,000 units. We got to like 280,000 units,
Okay.
and we got the news that they were just going to pass on us, and we got dropped in like 94, the beginning of 94.
Wow.
And we still had some more shows on the books. We went ahead and honored those shows, and after that, I just remember everybody going home.
Just
Crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Is those demos still around? I've got to ask.
I have a box, my friend. So
Wow. Wow. That's cool. That's cool.
There's probably about 4 other heavier songs that were going to be on Wake Up Screaming that I and Rick still have.
Cool. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. So when you go through your boxes, and if you ever digitize, we have our phone numbers. You can share it. Send me one.
I'll definitely do that for you, man. Sure.
Yeah, because I would be so curious as to the next progression, where that was heading, and yeah, that. So yeah, I'm just sitting here going through Deep Snare. Yeah, so that happens, and then I don't want all of this to be about EMN.
Oh, that's fun. We're hanging out, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't follow you as closely after that. Of course, everybody gets married and kids, and things changed, and and all that. But I mean, I always did pay attention to you. That I know you went and you started playing with the Gas Holes, right?
I did.
I might be out of order, and you.
Yeah, I went to after the Nightmares. I went back and forth, and we did a bunch of running around. Rick would get us about 4 or 5 shows, and we'd get in a van or a bus and go do them.
Okay.
And the last time I did that, now we've done that a dozen times, and the last time I did a run with them was 2018, and we went up to the East Coast, and we probably had about a 10-city run, and that was fun, but didn't make a nickel.
Don't pay the bills, right?
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I went back to Nashville. I was about to pack up and sell my place in Nashville and move here to Chattanooga and get married.
Okay.
And at this point, before all that touring, I was with a band called Bush Hog that was signed on RCA Records.
Bush Hog, interesting. I did not know that.
Yes, Sony RCA, and we toured everywhere for 4 years.
Wow.
All around the world. I went to Japan, Canada, Guam.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, it was a country southern rock band. You'll have to look it up. And
Absolutely.
I'll send you a 5-song EP. Just text me your address.
Awesome, man. That would be great. Yes, I'm writing it down right now.
It's BUSHHAWG.
Oh, Southern Hog.
Oh,
That's right.
so I was in that band for a while. Single came out in 2014. It went to number 11 on the country charts, and Gary Owen pulled the plug on us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So after that, I just started hopping from trailer to trailer going with country artists. I started playing country a lot
Okay.
because it paid you a check.
Right. Absolutely.
And I started playing with a bunch of artists and going out with them on the weekends and keeping my regular job. I had a great boss who let me tour.
Awesome.
So that was the last band. So when I moved actually to Chattanooga, I found out that Charlie had lost his drummer, and he said that he was looking for a drummer. He did it on social media, and I said, "Tell me more about it." And he got in touch with me, and I started touring with him for about, I guess, 2 years. I have not toured in a year this month.
Okay.
I just decided to get off the road. There's no money in it. People don't want to pay. I don't think these artists are getting guarantees anymore because
Really.
they're in big cities these days, and you're lucky to play their venue.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's an honor to play their places.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks, man. It sucks. Even this, I mean, I use it. I stream, but I do. I buy everything I possibly can. Albums. I still buy albums. I still buy CDs. I mean, I do stream, but I mean, I subscribe to Apple Music. But if there's something I like, I go to the band. Either their website or.
Absolutely.
You gotta. We can't let this die.
No, man, I know, and I'm so scared about that.
Yeah.
I feel like Winger and Slaughter and all these, that their days are numbered, but they need to keep going, and people buying tickets and supporting venues that are all that.
Yeah, that was I think I told you last night, me and a couple buds we went and seen The Darkness at
Love them.
holy shit, that was amazing.
I bet.
And that was great. And his East Side, what was it, East Side Bowl or something like that?
Yeah.
It was a great little venue. I say little, it was pretty big, and but I actually huh?
It sounds great in there.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard. There's another band over there in Ireland or something, but it's Mark Daly, and that's who opened up for them. And I ended up buying their record and a T-shirt for them, because I like to just support it as much as you can. Keep that stuff alive, and because I'm just afraid that they say rock's dead, or I don't think rock will ever die. But I mean, you got to pay these artists,
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And with these ridiculous ticket prices, it's just crazy.
Yeah. I'm not. Paying $400 or $500 to go see somebody. I mean, that's insane. That's
it is.
But I guess they have to pay that. You have to charge it now because they're not making making money on records anymore, right?
It's promotion and merch. I have friends in the industry that a lot of these 80s and 90s bands aren't making what you and I would think that they're making. Like half less than what you would think that these guys are making.
Yeah. That's the lead singer of Kicks. Can't remember his name.
Steven.
Yeah. He's got a podcast on YouTube, and he said even in their heyday when they was doing, Blow My Fuse, Hot Wire, he never made over $500 a week ever. And it's just like, are you serious? Had all this MTV and all of that, and he goes into detail about you're all paying you're never out of debt to the record company with your bus and this and that and another, and
they had a few couple platinum records too.
Yeah, right. You imagine? I mean, it had to be tough on you guys. I mean, you said you told me what, right at 300,000 copies. That's nothing to laugh about. I mean, that's 300,000 people in the United States bought your record.
Think about them in an arena.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, that's nothing to laugh about. I mean, that's impressive numbers. And could you imagine today if you sold 300,000 copies of a record today, they would probably offer you a 6-record deal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you're exactly right.
it's just, I just,
Record labels were looking for that payback.
yeah,
And because, I get it. They pushed us and they put a lot of money into us.
yeah,
And I guess they want to recoup.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just, you look in the bands in the 70s, like Seeger or even Kiss, you imagine if they had got dropped after 2 or 3 records because they didn't go gold or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. So what anything else you want to talk about? Anything else? Like I said, you've sort of pulled back from the touring. Um, one thing I do want to ask you, if you don't want to talk about it, you tell me to shut up and go on, and that's fine.
All right.
Do you talk to the original 3 guys anymore? Rick, Steve, or Mark?
I haven't spoke to Rick since that tour.
Okay.
I haven't spoken to Steve in over 30 years.
Wow.
There was no bad beef between me and Steve.
Yeah.
And I'm still friends on social media with Mark. We've probably talked about a handful of times in the past 30 years.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. I have looked. Of course, I know Rick is continuing with Every Mother's Nightmare and his version of that. I understand, which I don't think there's been any movement in the past couple of years, but
No.
I did finally find Steve. He's playing somewhere up, I think around St. Louis. Somebody gave me the information to his wife's Facebook page, and I've sent a message to him or through his wife. I've not been answered.
You haven't been answered?
Huh?
You haven't been answered?
No, I have not been answered.
I was really curious about that because I was like, man, that's wild. If Steve reaches out to this guy, that'd be great. But I just don't think he reaches out to that past. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and he might not, and that's fine. Everybody, absolutely. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think you'd reach out. I was like, hey, I'm just going to throw it out there and see. But I didn't know you said Mark. I've not even been able to find Mark on social media or anything. So I didn't know where he was. So last I heard, he was in a band in Atlanta 20 something years ago, and that was the last I heard.
Yeah, they were called the 57s.
That's it. Yeah, that's the last I'd heard.
So try to look for him on Instagram. I don't think he's on Facebook. He might be on Instagram because I was friends with him on Instagram unless he's left because I haven't seen a lot of him lately.
Okay. Well, I think me and you had a conversation the other day, and I told you, and I'm not going to lie, I would be off the moon if I could get you 4 together to do one show, maybe with a saloon or something in Nashville.
Oh, man.
Just one show. I mean, if it sparks something else, fantastic. But if I could get all you guys, to do one show, I believe you would be pleasantly surprised at the people that would be there.
Oh, I know, man. I know.
Yeah.
And, I was telling my wife that, and I was like, man, his biggest obstacle is probably going to be Rick and Steve.
Yeah.
So I think Rick would do it, but I don't know. Steve might. I don't know.
Well, he's not too far away. I mean, I think he's up in St. Louis. What's that, 4 or 5 hour drive?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, and I
buddy, go for it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best, and I think I might even have some connections to some of the people in clubs. For maybe like I said, just I like I said, Billy and them, saloon's still playing.
Yeah.
And I'd say they would be more than thrilled to be on something like that, and might reach out to him, see what he could do too.
Is Steve still playing with a band called Bitter Pill?
The last I seen, they they was amazing, by the way. They was like a covers band.
Yeah.
Whoa, they was fantastic. But no, I think that fell apart, and maybe him and the singer is doing something now. And I'll tell you offline. I'll show you. But yeah, he sent me that information because I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, is there any way you can get me in touch with Steve?"
Yeah.
And then he is like, "Here, you might go here." So, but because I'd looked, like I said, I've looked for you guys for a long, long time, and because I just think, like I said, I've said it 2 or 3 times, but damn, you the local boys that did good. You made it to MTV. You sold thousands and thousands of records and influenced a lot of people,
Yeah.
and myself.
That's awesome, man. That's so gratifying from what we do. I mean, I feel like what we did, we took it seriously, but then again, we had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah,
And but what we did really meant something, and I still talk about it today to other friends and
yeah,
stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to talk to you because um, I like talking about it. It's
yeah,
something done.
yeah. It's definitely something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, Jim, my brother,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you so much for doing this with me.
Thanks for having me, Chris. And hey, next time in Nashville, let's get together.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Yeah. And when you come in, just let me know. And like I said, I live up here in Lafayette and, I can be in Nashville in an hour. So,
I know where you are, brother.
yeah, up here in the sticks.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks, Jim.
All right, buddy. See you.
See you, man.